Good evening and welcome to another episode of Dissect. Of course, I go by the name of Novelist. And like my co-host in the building, the man Iman Daru, or known as Kaza. Nike will not be joining us this evening. Of course, she's celebrating a birthday, so happy birthday, reaching out to Nike. But we have two special people in the building with us. The man, Mr. Delly, and of course, the man, Earlson Matthew. Good evening, gentlemen. What's going on?
Yes, what's up? What's up?
Not
Everything
much.
good, everything nice.
Been a while.
Been a very, very long
A
time.
long time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start with the name. Let's go back into Mr. Littleman for a minute. And
Just like that first thing.
yes, just like the first name. So
Yeah.
tell us the name Littleman, where it come from.
Okay, that name originated in Kingsville, I should say. Growing up in the community, small in stature, so neighbors, people like Billy Goat, people like Keely Bright. I mean, who know them, but that was their name before me. That's how they referred to me because I was a small guy.
Right.
Small as in stature overall. In music, it came from rap. That was at an event that we had in Shipwreck,
Right.
where a couple of issues on stage. Pelham probably losing patience with Pelham and Ra came behind me and said, "We don't play the keyboard because man, and just make a whole joke out of it," and it just stuck. So that only comes from me. And the worst thing to do is not like a nickname. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. That will
so
follow.
I just accepted and let it be. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
So the name Early Willie, I think that's more a personal thing between you and Delly.
Yeah, they probably call me that the most.
Yeah.
That started off as I think it was a MSN name I had or something like that. You only saw MSN Messenger, right?
Okay, yeah. Jeez.
I think I had that as my sign on thing for MSN Messenger and that stuff.
And then just think again. Another name not to avoid.
My reason for calling him Willy Willy is because this guy is always ill.
So you're not on time, he's always early.
Oh, it's early.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
So, what got you guys into music? And you know what? Before you answer that, before you answer that, how far do you guys go back? You and Delly.
Book. I'm 9 days older than Nelly.
Oh wow!
So I saw when he was born. 9 days and come out crying
Yeah,
and all
like a
that.
baby, like a big
And up
baby.
to today. That's all it is. So I saw when he was born, yeah. So we from birth and then growing up, same community,
Right.
Greenfield, same primary school, and the bond just stayed and we had the same interest in music growing up. So everything just stayed all with us. Then the whole RSB movement. It's us that used to stand up in the banners and watch them till we get all the chance to do what we could. They saw the passion that we had and encouraged us, and it just grew step by step from there.
Right. Yeah, we heard a lot of we had RSB on here sometime last year and they were telling us and I was like, what? Like when did this man start? Right? So that explains to me a lot of the stuff we heard in CK. Like when you came into CK, the type of sound you brought in, that explained everything when they said that. So I take it you guys been on this journey together, you and Delly.
Yeah.
Right? And Delly, well, I know you was playing drums. Was that your first love, your first instrument?
First and foremost, I want to get my fans to be listening and watching. I will big up to them and everyone in their story. And I will turn on to New York, Miami, England, and first Dominicans. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Well, yes, my brother, to answer that question, drums is my passion. That's where I have my groove. That's where my heart beats on the drums. You know, and being with man like Earlson and Elijah, Jashak, we had an opportunity to use real instruments. You know, so from living RSB Downhouse, where we used to play in certain things when RSB moved out on tour, we would be at the back by Hurricane when the band was there, and I used to have my real acoustic drums. So
Right.
you know that brought me closer to it. And I don't know if it's the African thing. I love the drums.
Right.
So yeah, that's my passion. That's where my groove is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you two. Throughout the interviews we've done here in the past, right?
Yeah.
Even Cornell, as we just did lately, who had a little bit more formal training in the music. Would you all say you were self-taught, especially you, Delly or Earlson, when it comes to learning the drums or the keyboard, or even producing when it comes to yourself, Earlson? Would you say a lot of things were self-taught, or you picked up and you had to go to school after a while?
Well, for me, most of it was self-taught until I met the big guys, the big ones, which is WCK.
Okay.
And I had to take a course at Lloyd.
Yeah,
Lloyd, that's up in
John Baptist.
Lloyd John Baptist. That's up in Goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has a small school there and taught me some basic little things. And most of it I was already there because I was already playing drums.
Right.
And with the people around me with their knowledge, they would always tell me, "There, it's not like this. It's like that. It's not like that. It's like this." So you know, yeah.
Yeah, for me, there had to be formal training because I gave this story already. My parents wouldn't buy me the keyboard if I didn't take the class.
Yeah.
Something that would frustrate me, and I would just put it down after I make them spend the money.
Yeah.
Right.
So I had to do some formal training. I did a lot of functional classes. So up to very late, it was strictly functional. So I went through teachers like Mrs. Huguet Sentile was my first teacher.
Okay.
I went through Julius George, the late Gabriel Dalrymple. Armstrong was one of my teachers. All of that was functional. And then at some point, I started to take the theory a little more seriously. So I did music theory up to grade 6, I think, with Amanda Lawrence.
Right. Nice. So after schooling, I take it that's when Raw Rhythm came on, or was there a venture before the whole Raw Rhythm thing?
I wouldn't say after school. I was still in college when Raw Rhythm started.
Okay.
But then the music was always present. So even during high school days, RSB was there. Then we saw, like Delly said, we used to be by Elijah doing our thing.
Right.
They had a little band, rock band, that we kind of invaded because it was more of a high school kind of band.
Right.
With Craig Bellot and Joel, his brother, Gaff.
Oh, really?
Gaff Roll, my neighbor, Morgan, Elijah. So we kind of fit in ourselves in that.
So like an actual rock and roll band?
Nope, just in name. just
the name.
That's the name Rockets.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So about what?
We start calling them Rockets after a while.
Okay.
Nice. Didn't even know that's about you guys.
From that now, few people getting to know us and things like partners in crime coming and practicing RSB band house, and us having access to the band house and so on. We got to know people like Clint and Hayford and those kind of people. So they knew the potential. So when Raw Rhythm started, Hayford was like, okay, I know you man can feel that playing keyboards and whatever. And he's the one who approached me for Raw Rhythm. And then naturally, wherever I go, they're going to end up. So it just everything just falls through naturally.
Yeah. I remember Toronto tour was a real instep. I remember for sure. It was a real instep, and
that's
I was
inside joke by there. Instep.
That was a real nice tour. That was especially in Canada, hanging with my boy Ivan, you know.
Yes.
But more than that, though, getting to see you all's musical range at the time, because it wasn't just soca all he was playing, right? All he was banging reggae, all he could bang zouk. All you guys were really well versatile at that time. So to hear coming from that particular background, I'm really proud to even say, what? I feel I should have done more in the DJ business, man.
Canada was lifelong memories we always have. When you hear Imon's name, I mean, the next question you would ask about is the herb and everything. I say never forget.
That's the man for that.
Yes, that's how, you know, it was definitely the vibes them time there, you know.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good to see you grow. You know, I have to admit, listen, even yourself doing the
All
cultural
that,
gala. Yeah, man.
all that was good experience for us, good
hmm
exposure. You know, because we got the chance to perform on the island.
Yes.
You know, that was in 2000, right? 2001,
2001
somewhere
around
around.
there. Yeah.
And we had the opportunity to meet some big artists as young boys, take over to ferry to move across to the island.
Right.
You know,
Nice.
we had the farm where we had
Yes.
with swinging start and mighty sparrow.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
we had roof garden.
But
You
you
know,
memory sharp, man. Memory sharp, boy.
Portuguese, you know, so big up to Mr. Jopi Powell and
Yes.
the crew that was making it happen at that time.
Nice.
Very important people.
Jopi Dashin.
So, but before you guys came to Toronto, because that was probably like what, the second album or third album by then, right?
It was somewhere about there.
Yeah. So let's go back to 2000 when Raw Rhythm started. The songs that were coming out, like, were you guys involved in like the production as far as like creating the music for
Of
the
course.
album?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, heavily involved, but with the guidance of the more experienced musicians. So
Yes.
we were always technically the babies, but
Right.
then we always had the ideas.
Yeah.
So they fed off our creativity, but then they guided the process
Right.
in the way that they wanted it. So Rano, he wanted his WCK song, quote unquote.
Right.
He would guide the process so that he gets something that he likes.
Right, closest, right.
Yeah, that's where the balance was. And then Hayford was, Hayford was,
Yeah.
he was honest. Yeah.
Yes.
He wouldn't make us do nonsense.
Yeah. Well, even for Hayford to we had effects here and they were talking about the experience and like they said, Imoni, I remember they were terrible for a very long time. So I guess he probably, after his experience learning,
You're right.
I guess he wanted to
So
guide
we
you
didn't
guys.
have a chance to be terrible because we were coming in, our opening was the two top lead singers of the two top artists. So we couldn't have time to play be horrible or to no.
Right.
We just had to start with a bang and start at the level.
And tell us, what was that experience like working with both Roy and Ra at the time when, like you say, they were kind of prime, they were top in their game at the time, coming out of Dominica?
Boy, I come out funny.
For real.
Roy had a kind of a brotherhood, kind of a family vibe about it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
There are times where we would go at each other,
Yeah, of course.
Because I am making a mistake on the drum, and he would find I should not make a mistake there.
Right.
Like, but all that was for growth.
Right, of course.
You know,
Sure,
and
yes.
the shouting at each other, the cursing at each other was never like a fight. It was like more like a classroom.
Right.
Like you can do better.
You know, and
you don't take it personal.
No, you don't take it personal, and just get it going.
Experience,
You know.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Delly. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying it toughened us up a bit too. So I mean, you'll be able to take something from the outside because you already get worse than that internally.
Right.
True. True. Yeah, sometimes the tough criticism within the group or family is never to be taken personal. You know what I mean? Like you guys said, it definitely builds. At the time, you in your hotel, you check more that way, Mr. But a year from now, 6 months from now, you sit down and you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm glad I went through that because now look at where I am, type of vibe, right?
Yeah.
A little tough love, man. Never.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So Delly, so you moved from being a drummer with Raw Rhythm.
Yeah.
And I guess after the Raw Rhythm, after you guys, after the band went separate ways, some guys ended up Triple K, and you guys ended up doing WCK.
Yeah.
You went from the drums to the vocals.
Yeah.
Yes,
My
eating with
brother.
it bubble, yes.
I remember that. Yeah, and I was like, what?
My partner, what are you doing?
Yes, sir.
What motivated the switch? The switch.
Um, it's not even a switch. It's a package
Mm,
Mm,
because that is something that is natural in me, where I can actually play drums
and
and
sing.
sing at the same time.
Right.
You know, so when the opportunity came, Ra left. You know, Pelham came back from his studies,
Right.
mhm.
and I had to make a little switch up.
Yeah.
So them fellas fine. You know what, Delly, you have a good vocalism, you can do it. You know, try it, no, man. Let's try it.
But
Let's
Okay.
try.
but
I
but
try
the,
it. I find I like it, and I can do it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I was surprised the first time I heard it. But didn't you sing on? You were singing before I left.
yeah,
Yeah, because there's a I can't remember the name of the album. I want to say One Boss or something like that.
yeah. The one was how one was, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah, when you had that smash it up tune,
Right,
right?
that
right,
Right.
was
right. Yeah. That is
So,
where
but mhm,
that's when the guys were really pushing me to go up front, and I was already up there for so long without original song.
right.
So it's like, yo, you need to get something going. You need to get a track out. You need to do something. You know,
Right.
so that's how it really happened. You know,
And that was the song.
yeah, and that was it. You know, and up to 2 days.
I, I wouldn't touch on the song itself. We'll move away from the song itself.
Let's not.
Was that?
So there's all the scouts and my boy. So
Yeah. but before Booyah, you were I've seen a thing where you were doing reggae. You were
yeah,
doing so you're singing reggae as well, right?
yeah. We used to have a small reggae band. We used to do
Right.
a thing called Fisty Thursdays in Lally Coco down in Louvier.
Very
Right.
cool. Cool.
You know,
Yes, sir.
so I was on the drums, Max and Allen on the vocals,
Right.
Mhm,
Stila on the bass,
mhm.
Chapa on the guitar, you know, and then Maxine and Maggie used to work alongside to manage different things. So we used to do Thursdays, that's in every Thursday gig.
Right.
Mhm.
So I do drums and vocals at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty tight. I remember the first time I actually well, not the first time I saw Raw Rhythm, but the first time I saw Raw Rhythm on tour, and you guys were in New York City. You guys were actually on the road in New York City,
yeah,
Labor Day,
yeah. The Eastern
and
Catholic.
yeah, for some reason, that day, you on the drums is what sticks out in my head the most. For
Yeah,
some reason,
yeah.
yeah, I remember that Parkway there, and yeah, for some reason, that's what sticks out in my head. But listen, I want to ask you. So, the transition from going from Raw Rhythm to CK, and Cornell having to leave, and you having to take that role. That was like that's a major role.
Yeah.
No, I know you did
No
the
pressure.
schooling.
No
I know you
pressure.
did the schooling and everything for that, but how did it feel having to, step in Cornell's role and say like, yeah, you the one actually leading everything now?
Um, Challenges. I don't know. I have always faced challenges. I
Right.
have, for some reason, always find myself replacing someone or something big and having big shoes to fill. So up to today, in my current position, is that when I started at cultural division, I was replacing. I became the cultural officer for music, replacing Pearl Christian. So that's big shoes to fill.
Right.
Um, Even Creole Rendezvous, when Flo didn't do Creole in the back, I had to manage that event. So it's big shoes to fill, doing jazz and so on. So I've always had that, but that was one of the first times I actually had to step into something.
Right.
And I think my approach for that, I kept that approach in everything else I did, like afterwards. So it wasn't a matter of coming in and trying to be the person or trying to emulate the person or trying to be the next whoever I'm replacing,
Right.
but putting my own stamp on it. And I think that has worked for me.
Mm.
I mean, you stick to a formula, you know what works. So
Right.
if it's replacing cornell, you know certain techniques, but you take it a step further and put your own stamp, your own influence on it.
Make it your own.
For sure.
Yeah, basically. So it's not trying to be the next cornell, but trying to be the first liquor man.
Yeah. The first thing about
No. I taking a vote. You know, the fans and them seeing this, you know, they have a burn a fire, send a hand clap. We changing Earlson nickname to Mr. Big Man. You know how you talking? You know, it's big man moves. You know, little man move, like some big man moves you're making there. You cultural. Anyway, let's continue going because we go and get to why Earlson is the big man later on for sure.
So, so making that transition, I guess everybody just kind of let you do your thing at this point, right?
I mean, with guidance.
Yeah, of course.
So WCK has a sound, something that you expect to hear. So even if you have leeway to be creative, you still creative within certain parameters that you cannot really reveal. Yeah.
So you have like a sandbox to work in.
Yeah. Apart from me, you still have to sound like WCK.
Yeah.
Right. But when you came in, the sound definitely changed.
Yeah.
You know. What's that?
That's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it wasn't a drop off. Like, you know, when you have a band like as a status of WCK, like, you know, it's up there, and you have people like, for instance, Skinny's gone, Rag's gone, Cornell gone. The band will change, right? But then sometimes you find in the instance where the band actually lose a little bit, but in that case it maintained, you know what I mean? And it even came back to where we're getting this type of sound where it was new, but it was old at the same time. Like, I got that authentic vibe to it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the norm what we were getting. Like, I don't really want to mention the other bands, but with the other bands on the island, it wasn't the norm. It was a different vibe. It wasn't a raw rhythm vibe. It was just a different vibe.
So it's just a different combination. And I think a lot of times when people speak, they don't give enough credit to the team, the whole, the combination. Sometimes you have a winning combination, and every little element, every little person, whatever input they have makes the whole. And not everybody likes to acknowledge that, but that's what a band is.
Right. That is true.
So my time in WCK would not have been the same if Keith was in the basement.
Right.
Or if Pelham was, so you get it's a team. Yeah, different chemistry. It's like putting different seasoning to cook something, right? Exactly.
It's a bouillon.
Yeah, true. And you know, just to touch back on what you say, about, you know, it's not like usually you get one person always get the credit, and usually the person that get the credit is the person in front, that, you know, the singer or whoever it is, right? But I have this mentality where sometimes to me the captain has the easiest job, you know, because the captain is just to steer the ship, right? Make sure we get there safe. But with those little components moving, that's doing all the hard work, there's nothing that you could guide, right? So I don't know. That's just the way I look at it. When I listen to people who talk about, you know, who created what and what created, anyway. So
we had enough of that conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's more wasting time.
Yeah. So you know what? We didn't get to congratulate you on your achievement, Earlson, on being a chief officer. What does that mean? Like, the whole title, what does that mean? Like, what's your responsibility?
Okay, so acting, let me say that first, acting chief cultural officer.
You're still acting?
So that is the head of a department, basically, to manage the cultural division.
Right.
And dealing with all activities relating to culture. So anything to do with the promotion, preservation, and development of culture. And that is mostly through various art forms, such as music and dance and so on. But also culture is our way of life. So we're talking about food, what we eat, what we wear, from the national wear go down to anything contemporary. So it's a wide range of stuff that that would include festivals, training, exchanges that I can go on and on and on and on.
Right. Wow.
Congrats, man. Congrats. Mr. Big Man, once again, ladies and gentlemen, definitely coming to you live from Dominica right now.
And like I was saying to you earlier before we came on, like I'm not one that really was into cultural gala itself, unless your mother bring you them vibes, right, when we were kids. And like I said, you guys had my attention. I don't want to give you all the credit because I know you have a team. So,
Right.
You guys definitely had our attention from jump. Even the commercials I enjoyed. I'm being serious. It was
Yeah, man, seriously.
the production level was the best I've ever seen out of Dominica. This is not to knock anybody. This is my truth. This is how I feel about it.
I want to go and put on my beige suit and my black tie, honestly. Seriously.
So, as you mentioned, the team, we have a very young team at the cultural division,
Right.
and we work very well together. And everybody does what they have to do. Everybody pulls their weight. So, people like Giselle Hyacinth, Carlton Henry, Dorel, Tasha, Ordell, Aaron, Orlando, whoever I miss out. I hate to call names because I was missing out somebody. But
Right.
the kind of a team we have, you cannot not call names. I mean,
Right.
yeah, because everybody's a team effort. Just like coming back to the band thing, that's how I like to work.
Yeah.
Team effort, everybody gives their input and you have a good product.
That's true.
In terms of the production, I would say that was us taking advantage of the COVID situation because we had an opportunity to do everything pre-recorded and get it perfect. You don't know exactly what we want and do it, execute it in that way. So we had that opportunity. We had a chance to be creative and we took advantage of it.
Right.
Congrats, man. Big congrats. I know anybody taking in the program this evening would well agree. 100,000% represented Dominica very well. Very excellent. Couldn't ask for more, honestly. Big congrats.
Something coming up for Christmas too, so stay tuned.
Oh, you got. Okay, nice.
We doing cold food sauce for Christmas? What do you say? Oh,
Just
okay. I in that, the Kukala soup, I in that. Yeah, we in that.
Well, let's call the lots, man.
Yes, hi. I haven't spoken to you guys in so long. This is beautiful. I have to tell you. This is really nice,
So we
Moving
definitely have something to
Sorry.
look forward to for Christmas time.
for Christmas, yeah.
All right, let's go back to the music a little bit. Well, not that we got away from it, but let's go back to the music aspect for a bit. In your creativity, as far as making your beats, and like I said earlier, a lot of the beats that you have, it has that authentic feel and sometimes that old school vibe to it. What inspires that? Where do you get, do you listen to like a lot of old folk music, or what is it? What is it about Earlson that comes out kind of all that makes it sound so different?
The inspiration hits differently sometimes. Sometimes you work within a formula. So you know you have that and that and that. It's proven.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to get that result, you go with that. But sometimes you get creative, and it's when the two come together, that is when you really see the magic. When you get to be creative, but still stay within, what works.
Guidelines. Right.
Yeah. It's not every time it will be successful, but it's a good vibes when you get it right.
Right.
So yeah.
That's why sometimes you want some changing 3-4 times.
Yes.
In the studio, you come here one way today, you come tomorrow, you hear something different. You come tomorrow, it's totally different.
Right.
Nice.
Nice, but
Different
yeah,
inspiration.
we had a conversation like that last week Saturday,
Yeah.
where you don't just do one thing one time. You take your time and you go through the process, right?
I have songs sitting there for years, and it's just waiting for the right time, knowing that we got it right, and be satisfied with it, and we put it out.
Right.
It happens that way too. Sometimes you get it in a night, and you just know that works. But sometimes it might sit down there for a few years. You revisit it, you hear it after some time, and you find you like it. Oh, why we didn't put that out? And you just put tweaks and the creative process never really have a set. Sometimes it hits you from all angles. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because music is generally a feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's some form of vibration. So
from within. So that's why they call it like intellectual property. It's like it's
Understood.
It's from within, from the mind, from everything. So
right.
Yeah.
And
So,
speaking about inspiration, let me jump somewhere because I'm in Delhi. Um, you have your little brother that just causing havoc right now with some controversy kind of a vibes. Um, will we I know I said it's an inspiration, but will we ever see like a brother combination with you and your brother Shelly? Is that something we can look forward to in the future?
novel is taking
Is,
my
is that
question,
is that
but
a,
you
is
know,
that a tough
folks.
question?
You see two smiles as you ask that question, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Can you just leave it at two smiles? Just leave
Can
it
we
there.
leave it at two smiles?
Leave it at that. All right.
Leave it at two smiles.
That works
Two
for me.
smiles, two
That,
smiles, and a Coca-Cola. Yes, sir. Go and take a
that,
go now.
so
I
so
feel it now.
basically
When it happens, you'll get back to me.
Right. So we'll be having you back once it happens for sure.
Right.
Yes.
No problem.
All right.
Yes.
No problem.
Definitely.
No problem.
Yeah,
You
man.
know.
Bro, that is blood. And yeah.
You
Yeah.
must feel a certain sense of pride though, Delhi, to have your younger brother come out on the scene, especially the way he has. And it's without recognition that we say that even ourselves, touring as Island Therapy in New York, we were supposed to be on a show with him. He didn't make it, but I have followed his exploits quite closely, and I have to say he's another one that Dominicans are really watching them, and we're really proud of what they're doing and what they're
Yeah,
keeping up.
and I'm really proud of him too as my little brother. And I don't like the word little as my brother.
yeah.
Yeah, we're just dealing with big man on this show for
One
this
big man
segment. Yeah,
now, you
your
know.
big man thing. Yes.
So Shelly came from watching me doing that thing, and he got interested in that, and he decided, yo, I'm gonna do that, and he's in full 100, and I'm proud of him. I love the way he's doing his music. I love his lyrical content.
Hmm.
You know, I love his ideas, and there's nothing I have to say to him as my brother when it comes to music.
Right.
Understood.
So he's good to the
Good to go.
world.
Delhi says no longer his little brother and whatever, but he will forever be my student at SMB. That is very business. And
Yes, sir.
I like to
Yeah.
call him my little brother. My big
Yes,
man
sir.
now.
quite big man
Yes,
now,
sir.
but I will, and he always give me the credit for being the first person to take him into the studio
Right.
and so because he was in school choir and all those kind of things, Calypso, Junior Monarch.
Yep.
Right.
So myself, along with the other SMP teachers like Pasco and the rest of them, really worked with him. Miss Samuel used to write his songs for him and so on.
Yeah.
And I mean, from that time, he had the interest and he never let it go.
Yeah.
So we're proud of that. The same way we talk about the RSB and those who came before us,
Right.
Mhm.
I feel that is our role to them.
Yes, pass it down,
Yeah.
of course. Of course.
No. That is so. Let me share an experience, right?
Hmm.
There was carnival in St. Thomas once.
Mhm.
When is carnival in St. Thomas in
April or something.
April, yeah.
Right.
And Triple K and WCK was in St. Thomas to perform,
Hmm.
right? So our dad was in the crowd. Right now he's gone. Rest in peace, daddy. Already.
Yeah.
And while Triple K was on the stage performing, daddy is in the crowd crying, you know.
Seriously.
I said, daddy, what happened to you? Why you crying? It's
Bro.
because it's a partner. I watching partner on the stage there, and it's you I see him on the stage there. I tell him yes, and daddy, is it?
Wow, that's good, man.
That's good, man. That's really good vibes.
And after the performance was our performance,
Mhm.
Yes.
you know, so daddy was really feeling that joy to see
Yeah.
his two youths man mashing up St. Thomas, you know,
Nice.
and that's nice vibes.
So you see, all you have to work in for all your father's sake, all you have to do something.
You
So next
like
year,
trouble over this, why you like
next
trouble like that?
don't worry, we get Shelly on the show just now.
We call the show Dissect, you know. We're just here to talk and get into the vibes. You
You hear
understand?
that song in? You hear that song in there? Delly and Shelly. Shelly and Delly.
Yeah. According to Kaza knew with the Broadley brothers, right, Kaza?
Yes, man. Yeah, man.
Yes, yeah, you know.
But
But beyond Shelly, before Novelist can continue, what do we expect from you two musically moving forward? And do you have anything presently in the works coming up for either Carnival or after? Because music is all year round, right?
Yeah, of course. And the two of us, I mean, we always work together. I don't think that's a question. I mean, we know that. For me, on a personal level, I've been dealing with studies, which I have just completed, like yesterday.
Yes, sir. Congrats, man.
That's so I plan to get back to music. Like seriously, like for the past 2 years, I haven't been doing much. I just have to be focused on one thing and the studies. But yeah, I plan to make next year my return. I don't want to say return, but to get back to doing what I love, to get back to being me, basically.
More consistent.
All that studies, that was, I mean, I had to do it, but that wasn't me from within. But I want to get back to doing what I love.
Yeah.
And I think if all goes well, next year will be that year.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
I would brush him that promise during the independence season, and he put it on his phone. So he said, if he catch me sleeping, he's going to remind me. He's just going to send me the dates.
And I
think that next year I get him back to music. So yeah.
I think I'll follow Brushed thing. Trend. Yeah.
As you mentioned, Brushed, our last project was with
Triple K. Right.
Well, actually, Benji and
Killer.
Kendi. Well, yeah,
Right.
Triple K. You know, the Dominican China friendship rhythm. The rhythm for me.
That was something nice. That was something nice to see. Who came up with that? Because that was just beautiful to see.
Before I give you the whole story, that is something that should have happened
years ago.
40 years
in
ago.
our days as WCP and Triple K. But I mean, we made 2 attempts and it didn't happen. But they say nothing happened before its time. So
true.
When it happened and it was good. And we came to we did what we had to do. But Delly can give you the details as to where we meet, what we do, or whatever. But it's something that we've been talking about for years.
All right.
When I go to my partner, well, the way it is there, man and them just bounce up.
You just bounce up and you make it work, right? I agree, man. You know, for sure. But we need more of that. Need more of that in the industry.
What really happened was, Earlson and I went liming. Liming. And we ended up in Grand 4.
Okay.
We met Kendall in Grand 4. And my partner Shaq, he's a keyboardist from Grand 4. They had that band, Virtual Band, in Grand 4.
Okay.
And he's a good keyboardist. He has his stuff, and he have a little setup by the road. You know, the man is going to free up holiday weekend.
Right.
So, in talking, I tell him, man, let's look at keyboard there, look at the thing, let's go and play some music, boss. So, Earlson was like, yeah, let's go and play some music. And they say, yes, boy, let's go and play some music. And then I showed a song.
Yeah.
So I pushed them, I teased them until something came up.
Right.
And then it entered in the little man head.
Yeah.
And then in the studio. And then link up and work it out. And that was simple.
Nice. Nice.
Simple as that. Simple as 1, 2, 3. Now, what was good and surprising to the fans, because there was that thing where whenever it's carnival, we used to have a type of beef. I call it a type of beef because it was nothing physical.
Right.
So we used to go back and forth, drop our little words to each other. You know, Benji would tell me, don't worry, I'll catch you, though. I'll get you on the road. I can go you may want to waiting for you.
Yeah.
So people used to think we had that kind of a beef, especially the younger musicians.
Right.
So when that came around, it was like an open eye, you know, to get them to understand it's not a beef. It's a music thing.
Yes.
You know, it was music because they thought we had that beef. Triple K and WCK have that beef.
Right.
They thought, no, Benji not talking to Delly, Delly not talking to Benji, Kendall not talking to Earlson, Liquorman not talking to Killer.
Right.
So that by itself smoothen up the whole issue,
Right.
and it brought some growth to everybody too.
Right. Yeah.
So us working together was a very good experience, and I think we need more of that instead of wasting time speaking of who started and where it started.
Yes. Yes. Facts.
We need
Facts.
to do more of that to get it to grow, to get it to make it move.
Right.
So if Delly and Benji, Kendall and Little Man, I'm not sure, or I should say, I don't know why there is a problem where there cannot be Hunter and Delly and Cornell and Little Man,
True.
because that is to make it move.
Yeah. Most
you know?
definitely.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about the little components working to move the big unit, right?
Yeah.
If everybody, and that includes, no, we're talking Booyah, but I'm glad you mentioned Hunter, because when we look at the culture itself, it's not just Booyah music. We have Kadas music as well. We have, Kaiso, even though it's a Caribbean thing, I mean, we run that, like, hands down, we run that. So, I don't see why everybody's not working with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just
What I would
help.
love to see, novelists, what I would really, really love to see is us traveling the world together with a
Right.
Dominica package.
Yes. Yes.
Everything in there, everything on there is Dominica.
Right.
Right? So we go out there, we meet the Jamaicans, we meet the Trinidadians, we meet the Haitians, we meet the Africans. But we come in with that force, the same force they come with,
Right.
to showcase what we have. Because remember, what we have is new to the world. It's old to us, but it's new to the world.
Yes. And the world is always looking for something new.
If we continue the way we are going now, or have been going, the 40 years we just waste, we're going to start wasting it again from this year to the next 40 years.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
But we had that, wouldn't you agree, we had that connection back in the day though, when you had, like, I mean, maybe they all did not get along, but you had the RSB, the Serenade, the WCK, the Swinging Stars going out together, including the Calypsonians too.
Yes, but something didn't happen.
Well, a lot of things didn't happen and a lot of things happened.
Yeah, a lot of things, something didn't happen, and it caused a lot of things to happen.
Right.
Oh, you confused me there, man.
It's nothing really to be confused. I get exactly what Delly is saying. In my plain English, I'll put it that way. It happened that we all went outside there, but it happened that in a let's say 10 of us, 2 get greedy, and then the fact when the 2 get greedy, it creates a domino effect to the rest of us, to the 8 of us. So now everything starts, falling apart. Well, I'm not working with Mr. because Mr. that, and not doing this because that creates friction.
That's part of it. In some cases, the business part of the music industry, we didn't really handle very well. So I hope we're learning from those mistakes.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
But personality clashes can be blamed for a lot of our shortcomings.
Right.
In terms of where Dominican music should be.
Right.
And I mean, we can only continue to try.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So speaking about where our music is to be, in I want to say 3, maybe 4 years ago, a Booyah song hit the airwave. Well, Booyah beat hit the airwave with soca artists on it. How did you guys feel when you heard that? And looking back on it, do you think we as Dominicans handled the whole situation right?
Collaboration is important. Collaboration is key when you
Right.
want to penetrate markets and so on. So if you know the Trinidadians have a big market, and you know for you to make the kind of headway you want to do to perform at the shows you want to perform, you have to penetrate that market. Of course, collaboration is essential.
Facts.
What I feel that we didn't capitalize on is, yes, it happened, and it's not a new thing. We were doing collaborations before. We did Skinny Fabulous did Red Button on the
Right.
767. So it wasn't a new thing,
Right.
but it was a big thing, and yes, the producer got his accolades and so on, but I am not sure that any artist can say they benefited or from that process, which is not, it is not the producer's obligation to get artists on the thing, because the promoter still, the producer, sorry, still producing for other artists down that side.
True.
But we have to understand where the artists down there coming from, and we have to use, I don't want to say use them in a bad way, but to get that platform, you have to work together with them.
Yeah, of course.
So they know what they want, they see what they want, but we know what we want as well.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with they performing on Dominican rhythms, that's fine. But then we have to look at which Dominican artists are they opening the doors for.
Right.
I think we lack in that sense. Like until today, I don't think any, correct me if I'm wrong, but any artist burst on that level, that the rhythm itself from the producer, that step that it made, I don't think any artist caught up to that, where you will find Marshall is doing something with a Benji or something like that.
Right.
Up to today. I think they approached them once, and I think the figure they threw out was like a leave me alone kind of figure.
Oh wow.
So they know what they want, they know what they need. They will come here and they will do interviews and they will say the right things. They will say yes, collaboration, whatever, but then you walk in with so much money. You have to say that.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So hopefully, I mean, I would like to see that it gets to the level where our artists are making headway with those kind of collaborations.
Right.
Makes sense. I'd like to hear that for sure.
At that point, guys, I was like, yes. Finally, the door opened.
Yes. I thought so too myself.
And we had that opportunity to use that opportunity to work. Maybe not Marshall, but some other artists.
Somebody outside there.
Yes.
Yes.
To get it going, to get it moving, because the door was wide open for us. The Bouillon, that name Bouillon was pitching out of the world, in the world, like wildfire, because the beat is not soca.
Nope.
And the fans will always ask a question: what is that beat? Where it came from?
Yeah.
And Marshall not going to hide and lie and say that's a Trini thing. Marshall will always say that's a Dominican
thing. Yes.
That's the kind of man he is.
Yes.
You know? So honestly, to be straightforward, I think that opportunity passes straight.
And the thing is, it served its purpose, but it served the purpose for them. It didn't serve our purpose.
Yeah.
So Marshall got what he had to get from the times that he used Dominican content, I should say, in terms of the culture, in terms of the other one. It's his purpose for him. He got he got whatever. But it served the purpose for the producer. He's getting his calls, he's producing for big artists. But for the movement on a whole, we probably didn't capitalize on it fully.
No. And that's why I like Delly said that the opportunity passed us, and I don't think it has. I mean, the door has closed a little bit, but I don't think it's fully closed. The reason why I say that is, even before Family, there's another artist in Trinidad, the Gallon. He have this type of booyah-ish thing to his soca as well, right? There's other producers that I know from Dominica that actually produce for Barbados and Trinidad and those places, right? What I find happened after Famalele was you had people like Moto who grabbed the balance bati. So they're still grabbing. My whole thing is that they know that the world is looking for
just
a
give
new
me
sound,
2 minutes, baby.
and they're gonna give the world that new sound. what I think we need to do as artists from Dominica is, hey, maybe we cannot afford a Marshall Montano, but maybe we could get one of a voice or somebody that's just coming up to feature with them as well. And I mean, using our Booyah sound, because since you like it so much, why don't I just invite you on a song with me?
But
So
even
I don't
with
think.
even with the moto thing you just mentioned,
Mhm.
I mean, that could have been that, or that was another opportunity where Delly could have been on a song on that
True.
rhythm
True.
that starts with his voice anyway.
True. Yeah.
I mean,
Ooh.
it's a lot of, and then in those cases, they actually came to management of WCP and got permission to use those things. So it's just a matter of thinking, hey, if you come into me for that, what am I getting from it?
Right.
Thinking of the bigger picture, and I think again that was an opportunity lost. I
Yes.
think there was another one that they have some contention for as well. That's
There was the I want to say what's the name of that? I don't know what music I know is not the right name, but Porteno, that Colteno song that CK had, they used that as well too. Whoa, Colteno.
yeah.
I remember the beat
So
pattern.
we only seeing like what's in front of us, and we're not seeing the bigger picture. So
Right.
yes, they use certain things. They did get permission. Whether the permission was from the right person or not is for lawyers to deal with.
Right.
But we didn't really think of what's in it for us. For your name being in the credits is probably not enough. Getting paid on a one-off might not be enough. But if you're thinking of our music going further, you have to think a little bigger than just those little trivial things. Check?
Right.
Understood. Understood.
Yep. And I think we have a weapon working for us and against us, especially here in Dominica with the social media thing, because we, for some reason, we seem to forget that the people that will or might want to work with us following up on the social media.
That is true.
So when Marshall do a
Paying
song,
attention.
when Marshall do a song with Dada, and it really starts the biggest thing for the time, and we on social media by talking it in Dominica terms, they know,
Of course.
and that is working against us.
Yes.
So here we are fighting amongst ourselves for something that is not our own, and we have our own. They use it now, and we vex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to laugh, but that's
No,
a very
it's
astute
facts.
way. It's a very
It is
astute way
facts.
to sum it up for sure.
It
We're
is
wasting
facts.
time, each and every one of us in Dominica, in the music business, in politics, tourism, culture have a better stand now, I believe. Wasting time and spending time doing the wrong things.
And then a lot of times they would just look from the outside and say, boy, you know what? I don't really want to be part of that mess. So as much as they want it, they will find a way around it.
Yeah.
And not want to deal with the politics of it in terms of who have rights to this and who own that and whatever and who fighting and who on social media throwing talk and them kind of thing. They don't really want to be part of that.
No.
So they will find a way to get what they want. They will still get what they want.
And stay out of our
Still
talala.
get the mileage from it and stay out of our talala, as Denny said.
Yeah. So that is what the social media working for us, where they can see and hear,
Right.
they can purchase, and it working against us where they will stay away from us.
Because they see in all the
Because they're seeing what we're doing, they're seeing the way we're speaking, they're seeing the way we're dealing with each other, they're seeing the way we deal with each other. Now, if Trinidad wants skinny bantan, somebody in Dominica is going to say to that promoter in Trinidad, skinny doesn't walk in Pottersville without shit.
That's sad though.
If Trinidad want Delly, they will tell that promoter, I will come to Trinidad and I will have a glass in my hand.
Yeah.
not thinking of what is going to happen or what might happen for Dominica.
The bigger picture.
Not Delhi,
Yeah. But the
not
whole
Delhi,
island.
Dominica.
Yeah.
Bigger
Tourism is
picture.
our business.
Hmm.
What is tourism without music, entertainment?
True.
What are we doing? Watching my
Really
shirts,
good points. Some really good points.
Yep.
watching my shoes, watching my van.
You're right. You should put that. You should put that in a song.
I was gonna ask if there is a piece you given us from Delhi and Shelley, you know, but I'll leave that alone. we'll wait. We'll wait.
Spending that time,
Mhm.
Earlson, Cornell, Kendall,
Kendall, yeah.
Norman, singing stars keyboardist, Peter later,
Peter. Hmm.
sit down preparing something for Trinidad preparing for Dominica, and then we head to North America.
Right.
I don't know what's wrong, but something's definitely wrong.
Regional integration, they're always talking about that. But all them concept there is just theories. I mean, people throw that around in speeches and
Right.
then you have your own little internal nonsense. So we try to move forward, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
We're making steps, right?
But it's plenty crying. We know what the problems are. It's just a matter of doing better.
Yes,
But
and
you-
we have to because we cannot make 40 years pass again.
yeah.
Understood.
But I do see some changes. It's not major, but coming from the 80s, 90s to where we are now, in the 80s and 90s, I don't remember anybody collabing with each other. Maybe Hunter did a thing with Serenade in the mid 90s or something, but I definitely see the change where this generation, they working more together but being criticized for what they do, right? As far as them being criticized what they do, I don't see how you could criticize people when you didn't teach them anything. But I definitely see a change in the wave, and hopefully it's for the good. Hopefully they keep it up and they all do better. And because every island, as far as everybody I've spoken to, is they come to Dominica and they take something and go.
Take something and go. Of
Yeah.
course.
Everybody takes something and go.
They go to the sulfur spring and they leave with one stone.
Yeah. The next thing you know, you have no more stones.
So, that's what we need to do, guys. That's what I believe we need to do.
Right.
Like Iman would strengthen my point on that.
Hmm.
As the Rastafarians would say, we have to organize and centralize.
Realize.
That is key to anything.
Whatever is coming from Dominica, it have its background, it this and it that, but let's prepare it and showcase it to the world properly because it's our own.
Right.
Yes.
Do we have a hand clap? Did we get the hand clap sound effect yet, novelist?
No, you
We
didn't
gotta
send
work
us
on that for the next show,
No,
we
you
need
have
the
to
hand
work on
clap
that.
sound effect. Yeah, get the hand clap sound effect.
It's a deeper process when you're talking about your product and getting it export ready and all that kind of thing. It takes a lot of work in the background and
Right.
a lot of work before it gets to the end product.
Mhm.
So yes, we're going to need training. People are going to need to write better.
Right.
People are going to need to produce on a musical standard that competitive out there. You're
Right.
going to need that.
Right.
But balance is important because sometimes it's the simplest thing that a trained musician might not value, but that might be what make the hit. So it's
Right.
finding a balance between doing things the structured way,
Mhm.
but then not losing sight of creativity.
Right.
Once we can conquer that and get past our personalities and our egos and so on, we can do what we have to.
Right.
Truth. So since you touched on that, it's almost time for us to go. But talking about the writing part of the music, do you feel like the writing itself is a problem? Like, do you think well, we can do better and you could always improve, but do you think that is the problem? That's like one of the major problems is the lyrical content?
Lyrical content, I don't want to say it's a problem. We dealing with a generation, and that's what works for them. So I am not going to tell somebody who is seeing success, whether it's on a local level or not. If you're seeing success and your event's packed on a Friday night, I'm not going to tell you change your style and I'm not coming to watch you perform. They're going to satisfy their audience. I understand that. I respect that. In terms of the content itself, what we can do is guide. Tell them what works, tell them what wouldn't work outside there. Do what you do, but have something when you're ready to perform on an international level. And once we can understand that, once we can have that understanding that something is for home, something is for outside, it might be the home thing that still end up bursting outside, but you have options. And the lyrical content, I mean, the most we can do is guide or try to guide.
Yes, because every artist have a different vibe. You know, and most of us sing from what we feel, from what we believe.
True.
Sometimes it may not come out through the mic, but it might come from the body language. You know, so if I sing a gospel now, if I do a gospel now, some people will be like, wow, Delly changing his life. That is good.
True.
Some people will be like, Delly is trying to make a mockery of God. But then the people that is saying, I want to be a mockery, or I'm making a mockery out of God, they never come to see me perform.
That's true.
The other people that is saying, I'm making a change in my life, or I've made a change in my life, they will meet me and tell me, Delly, that is good. I see you trying to make a change in my life, but it's still funny to them. Because of my looks. You know, if you check out Vibes Cartel, check out Movado. Check out Busy Signal. They're all on the same mission, but different vibes.
Different paths,
And I think that is where our problem is. We kind of have a little issue in accepting artists for what they are. You check? Because anybody can sing a boom boom tune. But then if I sing a boom boom tune and the way I push out that boom boom tune, people will feel like Delly boom boom tune need to be banned on the radio because that boom boom thing too raw. There are 12,000 other boom boom tunes.
True.
But it's just my vibe.
You hit that on the head.
Music is music. Music is music. Some of us say, listen to a song and we say that's not good, but somebody else like it.
True.
Facts.
But then just to take that a step further, they would still accept the same one they say that not good from somebody outside.
Wow.
So it's just having an appreciation for what we have as well.
For what you have, exactly.
We have to do that.
You know, not to drag it too much, but I remember as a child going to Newtown Primary School. I left Dominica after primary school. So I was going to Newtown Primary School. I used to listen to Ted Daly and everything every day. There was a few songs from one particular artist that was on DBS. It had one they called Bayo Lolo, and then there was a remix to it. It's not clicking in the head right now, but it's the same Lolo vibes. Then you had bands like Serenade that would, say what they had to say. But then I found when it came to the generation in the booyah music now, they were hard on them. For instance, Triple K would sing a song like Debris, or even Put Up Your Leg, Let Me Work You, and then that creates a problem. And you figure about why. If I'm going to primary school and I can listen to a song, and Dominic is a Creole speaking place. So it's not like we're not understanding what the song is saying, right? As kids, the song is telling you about Lolo is doing this and Lolo is doing that, like, you know what I mean? But then we get an English version that they, hey, put up your leg, let me work you, and that creates a big problem. So I get what you're saying, Delly. Like, the problem is not really the song, but the problem is the person who sings the song.
A lot of times.
And and the way they look at the person.
Yeah.
You know, they will they figure, oh, they know you personally, oh, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, a big man like you.
Yeah.
You have two children. That you come in there and do, but they don't understand. That's the way I feed the children.
Right. Exactly.
Now, if they accept it as music, instead of minding my business, straight up with Dissect today.
We dissect it. That's what we have to do. Dissect. Cut
My
it
lights
open,
on,
wide
boy.
open.
I didn't bring the fire this week.
Accept it as music.
Right.
Instead of minding my business, my character, and what I do with my life, we will move.
Facts.
Because there's a little country called Guadeloupe, 2.5 hours away from us. They don't respect the artists. When they see you, they greet you, hello, hello, hello. But your music,
that's it.
They respect that.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Of
I
course.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Of course.
So there is no artist in Guadeloupe feeling or thinking like I'm the biggest artist or I big and you small.
Yeah. Yeah. It's music. It's just vibe.
So when you do something, let's ask them have your music. They produce your music. You're on the same level as Admiralty.
Nice.
You're on the same level as Castle.
Right.
You know, so I think that is where we have a little issue. We're not focusing on what we have to do.
Right.
Yeah, when it comes to the lyrical content, because my boy, you cannot tell a man what to sing. You cannot tell a man what to push out. You're not in the man.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you know these feelings, exactly.
You would like to hear him say, you would prefer to hear him say
something you like.
I don't like that person than I hate that person.
Right. Right.
What deep that person, the vibe feel to come out. I hate
that person. Yeah.
And we have to learn to respect that kind of a vibe.
Facts.
So we have some small artists. We have a young artist. I think he's 9 years old now. A couple of months back, he was on big stage and thing dropping because I like cause they grudging me.
Right.
He's 9 years old.
9 years old. Wow.
And God knows which one of us he see first doing it.
Right.
And get interested in it.
Right.
Reality.
Now that little youth, if we don't push him, we're going to waste him.
Of course.
Agreed.
I like how he said that.
Let's finish with that. Thank you.
Yeah, I like how he said that. I actually was going to finish on that. So December, Earlson, we're looking forward to another show in December, right?
We're looking at doing a Christmas production.
Yeah.
Something more family oriented.
Right.
To catch that Christmas vibes. Because people don't really see Christmas as something cultural. When you think cultural, you think independence.
Right.
But Christmas has a cultural aspect to it. And like I said, culture is way of life.
Yes,
so
facts.
When you think Christmas, you think of the music, you think of the food associated with Christmas, the drinks, you think of people cleaning, curtains, changing tablecloth, and that's just changing your whole mood.
Yes,
and
indeed.
That Christmas vibe. So we're looking to highlight Christmas traditions a little more this year. And the culmination of that, I should say, will be a production.
Right.
So you'll hear a little more about that as the weeks go by.
Okay, nice. So definitely something to look, and that would be around what, Christmas Day, the day before?
Yeah, I'm premiering it on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. All right. So definitely look out for that. And I'm gonna thank you guys for joining us. It was very interesting. As usual, dissecting and learning right here on
Yeah, man.
TD and TV Islands Therapy.
And
So
there's so much more we could talk about, but
oh yes,
No,
oh yes.
yeah.
The time, and you know, you guys are always welcome. You know, I mean, on the program anytime, even when you
Come
create
back,
new
yeah, man.
stuff. So
Yeah, man.
definitely, and I mean, this is what this is about. It's for the culture. It's for us. It's not to say, boy, it's not about me. To be honest, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
you guys are more than welcome to come back here and join us anytime. All
For
right.
sure. So we'll link up on that.
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
All
All
right.
right.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Plenty love, fellas. Big up Dominican.
Respect, brothers.
100.
One love.
Support
Genfield
local.
represent. Yes, I.
Plenty love, yeah, man.